Okay, so should I wait for Srihari? Let me check with him, otherwise we'll start. Okay, I don't know, he is showing away.
You can go ahead.
Yeah, I think I'll go ahead. Okay, Padma Shri, one question to you, or you can answer the way you want. Now, what is the similarity and differences between a family and a country? Ah, there he comes.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Sorry for the delay.
That's okay. Good morning.
Morning, Siri.
Yeah, Padma Shri. What's
When you're starting this way, I know where you're going, but I feel this one itself, premise itself is different. Maybe we should stop this discussion here and move forward, because I don't think then we'll start to say here also they're doing it for the others. No, it is not. It is, he has got enough money. Because I don't want to go through this whole thing and then come to the same discussion. Vilas, sorry that I'm jumping the gun, because I know you will want me to say this family is consisting of many other people also. For their sake, we should do it.
okay, fine.
But then,
if you want to keep
in my view, it is still, you see, you've already given the premise that that guy has a wife who is the only daughter, and that guy has got all the money. And in my opinion, even if he doesn't have money, if he has to fight and get it, it is wrong according to him.
Okay.
Because he has the capability to, it is not the property with somebody you have to fight and get it. That is a very selfish requirement, because you want it in your name. And you're saying this guy is a Jivan Mukta. For him, name and form is not there. And he wants the property in his name. So for me, that whole thing, that premise itself is not allowing me to say that, yes, it is right to fight for his right.
Okay, no problem. If you want to skip, I have no problem, but anyway.
No, we'll skip it, because meaning I am convinced where your answer will go, because you will try to find out the similarity between a country. A soldier goes there and he doesn't even know whether he will get a medal for being killed there. He will get killed. And this guy who has got money is fighting for his, this one, we equate that itself is a wrong thing for me.
Okay, so instead of what we can say skipping it, I just conclude what it really means is that there is division. Okay, so all of us are divided, whether we call it as a country or a family or a person or whatever we want to call, we can keep on calling, but it is divided. The objective is to unite in your mind. That's so the Jivan Mukta meaning is that one who has united himself and others in his mind. I mean, he doesn't see separation. Generally, we see separation. So the difference is that when we say this exists and that exists, this doesn't exist and that doesn't exist, what we are seeing is the separation, which is division. So undivided is what it is. So when we say Chuti, it is dividing it, meaning it cuts. Achyuta means without any division. So what are we trying to do is to see Brahman as an undivided single entity, which is there in everything. So whether this should be done or that should be done or that shouldn't be done or whatever it is again a division. So the more we divide, the worse it gets. The more you see it as a unified whole. It doesn't really matter whether you're working for a country or you're working for an office, you're working for a family, or you're doing this or doing that, doesn't really come into existence.
So okay, then that means that question itself is wrong. Whether he is right in or giving or not itself is wrong.
Absolutely, I wanted to come to that.
But then, because that was a question that came from you, right?
No, I just wanted to put that to see how it works. See, the thing.
No, but that is not, because when we are talking about no division, it should not come at all, right?
No.
Vilas,
See,
you ask that question and then you make it look like it is division thing.
No.
See, the point is, if that guy is not divided at all, the person whom you are saying is Jivan Mukta, if he has not seen that division at all, then he will not fight. He will not fight. Now it was a question about you asking whether the guy should fight or not. And you said it was right to fight. Even if he is Jivan Mukta, it is right to fight, you said. But that guy will not fight. If he is a Jivan Mukta and this is the answer, it is Achyuta and it is not, you are not dividing. He and his sister or he and his brother are the same, he will not fight.
No, the thing is,
So
he will do
fighting
his...
is not right.
No, wait, Padmashri. The thing is, he will do what as his duty is supposed to be, or whatever we call it.
That is not his duty. If he is a Jivan Mukta and he is looking the division as the same without the division. Now, see, what I'm saying is we are making all convenient answers, picking from the scriptures itself. Picking from spiritual texts itself, we are making convenient answers. A Jivan Mukta will not fight for a property which it might be his, but if somebody is saying that I will not give it to you, he will not fight for it. Any Jivan Mukta will not do it, but there is no duty bound in that at all. I do not know where we see a duty, and you have even made the premise against that, because he is not suffering, or he is not having hunger, he is not having anything, because he has got a lot of money from his wife's side. So you have created a premise where there is no need, and then he fights, and you make that, and he says, you are saying his fighting is right. But even if his fighting is right, he is a Jivan Mukta. All these things are an explanation where we are feeling that, okay, we feel that is right, so after that we start to bring scriptures to support that.
No, it's not like that.
Meaning it will be rightfully. No, in the Laukika, yes, it might be rightful that he goes and fights, because it is his, it has to belong to him. But that guy, if he is a Jivan Mukta, he will not fight. That is all I'm saying. In a Laukika world, he can fight, and he is right to fight.
Okay, my question...
But you are calling that guy as a Jivan Mukta and making him say that is his duty to fight.
No, the thing is, if we go to the earlier what we have spoken, 417 onwards, can the person interact with the world outside is the question.
No, that is fine. See, he interact with the world and making a property which was not given to him rightfully, fighting for it and getting it in his name and calling him Jivan Mukta is wrong. Is wrong, and then we are trying to, I don't know in what angle that is looking right for you, because equating that guy to a soldier who is doing it for a country, that is even worse. Then we are saying that Krishna told Arjuna, Krishna never said you do it for the sake of kingdom should belong to you. He did not say. He said the good people in the kingdom require dharma to be established. So you have to see to it that those people are protected.
Yes, absolutely. So the same rule applies to everything, right?
Don't go and rightfully claim. It is not. He in no way he says that kingdom is yours. You have to claim it.
Okay,
in the whole of Bhagavad Gita, he does not say the kingdom is yours. You have to claim it. He says all those are your people, but you have to fight because it is dharma sthapana. Because the people underneath, people in the country will be suffering if you do not do that. So it is your duty. It is not about Arjuna reclaiming his kingdom or Yudhishthira reclaiming his kingdom. That is not the premise of whole of Mahabharata.
I never said that is the premise at all. I never said that.
No, but when we are equating all these things, Vilas, you don't need to say that, but if you are saying that this guy going and fighting for it, you create a premise and then you equate it to Krishna telling Arjuna to fight for the kingdom, will tell that, yes, it is right to fight for a kingdom for the sake of the kingdom. It was not fought for the sake of the kingdom.
That is correct.
It was fought for the sake of righteousness.
Yes, righteousness of whom?
Righteousness for the people of the kingdom.
See,
because when a people stay in a kingdom, the king has to look after. In those days, the king had to look after. And if the king was very selfish king, it was wrong. Dharma sthapana was required. It was
Absolutely the
not
same.
because Krishna said, if that is the case, Krishna would have not gone even for that sandhana of asking five villages.
You just now answered your own question. The selfishness, whenever it is.
No. I'm answering that question because I know you will say he wanted those five villages. That is also problem.
No, I didn't say that. No, I'm not saying that. You just now answered to the question, saying that as long as selfishness is there, you have to remove that selfishness. Okay, so when you do that, you have to do whatever is required. So as a role you're playing as a king or whatever you're doing, you do that role because somebody is selfish.
Yeah, but this guy, no, there is a difference between a king doing the selfishness of another king to a human, ordinary family man when he has got enough. He wants to fight for a right in some other place. I'm not saying those guys are right. I'm not saying those guys are right. It is not his duty to bring them into the righteous path, right? He has not taken that duty on himself. This person is not, that duty is not his. Bringing them to righteous path, taking them to the court, bringing them to the righteous path, that duty is not his. Then you should be fighting for everything in the society because you have seen everybody as same. You don't fight, you allow people to do their own set of papa and punya. You don't go and stop people from doing papa, right?
Absolutely. So
it is not his duty to go and see to it that they don't do the papa. He can just ask. But then if he is fighting for it, he is fighting for his greed. I don't know, anything you fight for property, it is greed, because especially if you're having something. And you are saying that Jivanmukta can have greed.
no, I'm not saying it anyway. You see, the thing is like this, Padmashri. What I'm trying to say.
It means that, see, that is what I'm saying. See, you are justifying the action of fighting.
I'm not saying anything at all, Padmashri. I just gave an example. No, the thing is, I just gave an illustration. I'm not saying somebody should fight or somebody should. I'm just saying that all the three children have to take care of their parents. And that daughter.
No. Then we leave that portion. You came to see. Let us only talk about the premise where you said. Let us only talk about that. All those are. I don't even argue on those things that are there. That both should be. They are equal responsibility of whether it is a son or a daughter. And the answer which you gave, he has to take care of both of them. So he has to make his collaboration, the 4 C's which you said. Yes, I fully agree with you. I am not talking about that portion. So let us only concentrate on what you said, that this guy has this one from property from his wife, and then he says, his brothers and sisters say, you already have money from that person. Why are you wanting more? We will give you less in this. I'm not saying these guys are right. They are doing their own set of papas.
No, I didn't say that at all.
No, I'm just concentrating on that guy whom you're calling as Jivanmukta, and you justified the fact that he can fight, go to the court and fight.
No, when did I say that?
Yeah, you said that. Because see, now I say that is a question, because you said when Bhatt said otherwise he is a coward, you said right, he will be a coward if he doesn't do that.
No, what I'm saying is there are two things to it. Well, I don't know how in what context I said it, so let me again reiterate what I said. Now there are 3 children, and the second daughter's husband, that is the son-in-law, is interested in taking care of these parents, and the son, that is his wife, doesn't want to take care of it, and she wants to take care of her parents. Now the question is, the normal circumstances, all the 3 people are supposed to get a share in the property. This is what I said. So all of them should get their share in their property. Irrespective of whether they take care or not, it is a secondary thing, but he has to take care of both the parents. The same thing is with that son-in-law, that he has to take care of both the parents. He cannot say that I will only take care of my wife's side parent and then I will not take care of my parent. And the same rule holds good for the other also. Now, the thing is, generally people would love, that is the parents would like to stay with their son than their daughter. This is what in general.
No, I don't know why we are bringing those promises.
No.
Because I'm agreeing to what you're telling there. See, let's cut to the point. point. Let
No,
us
when did
examine
I say? No, no. My question is, when did I say that the son should get more of?
No, you did say that. Now see, that was the point of discussion at all. Otherwise, this question would not come. When did I say it is right? I do not know. I don't even want to call the other whether you said it is right or you said it is wrong. But if you're very refuting the very basis of this argument, then I rest my case. Because you are very fact that I did not say that you're saying, but then you are justifying the action. Even as a Jivan Mukta, he can fight. You said.
No, whatever needs to be done.
In fact, when Bhatt said, otherwise, if he is not fighting, he will be called a coward. You said yes. So if you did not say this in these words, and then you felt that exactly that was not the meaning in your head, then I withdraw. Because I can't make out what is the meaning in your head. I can only derive from the words you take. When you justified it, according to me, a Jivan Mukta should not be fighting for his case. That is why I wanted to not come in, but then again and again we are doing wrong things. We are justifying something which should not be justified. We use the scriptures and the essence by saying he is not dividing, so he has to do his duty. No, it is not his duty. If he's not hungry, if his family is not hungry, he doesn't need to wait for a property and fight for that property.
Okay, no worries. So let us park this. You will get an answer in another 15 verses. So let us go further. Not an issue. So
okay. We'll rest the case here. I don't think I want to take it further.
No worries. You don't have to take the case, irrespective.
Because sometimes what happens, Vilas, is that when you start questioning, did I say that? No, then I don't know. I'm not recorded. I don't know.
No. I am also.
Yeah, exactly at this point.
I only said that son or whoever, I don't exactly remember the context at which I said that, but as far as I remember, I only said when Bhatt asked me that, I said yes, he has to fight with whether it is about the property or this much he has to get. I didn't say that. And if you say that,
fighting is what even that this much that much. Even I'm not telling you, Vilas. I'm just saying about fighting. You said yes, he has to fight, and even as a Jivan Mukta, it is right to fight.
Okay, now that is correct. No, that is correct. So you just hold on.
That is the only point of contention.
But then I didn't say how much property. No, I didn't.
Only that thing.
No,
it is right to fight. You're saying.
No,
and then he can still be called a Jivan Mukta.
No, Padmashree, you just now said that. I said about the distribution of the property. I didn't say that. I didn't say anything about
distribution. You said he has got this from his wife's side, and then these people, you mentioned that yesterday also, that they say anyway you have it from your wife. You will get
correct. Agreed. Yeah. Yes. Now, should he fight or should he just go with whatever? I am still maintaining that yes, as a Jivan Mukta.
That is where the contention is. Okay. That is where the contention is.
Right. Now you're right.
So there is no way that you will be able to tell me that, if you still maintain that guy, fine, even after being a Jivan Mukta, he can fight for it because he does not need it, but you are saying he's fighting for righteousness. Fine.
Hold on.
That is out of greed.
Okay, agreed. So he's greedy. Okay, fine. So the conclusion is that he doesn't require, and he is greedy. He should not be fighting. Let's park that. And another 15 verses. I don't have to even give that illustration because it's of no use. But the shloka itself says, and then we will see at that point in time. So whether you want an answer or you want to drop the thing or whatever it is, the reason I made that scenario, it's just a scenario, is to see how do we understand what is Jivan Mukta. And even another 15 shlokas from now, you'll come to the same spot where the question would be that what would you do as a Jivan Mukta when these things come in front of you? How would you address? And what happens when a family person, can he be a Jivan Mukta? First question is asked there. And secondly, why he should turn into monastic. So that is what I'm driving to. So let's get it it's a good thing, good argument. I'm not saying what you're arguing is not right, but the answer would also be provided, not by me, by the shloka itself. So
Okay. Thanks, Vilas. Yeah.
okay,
That's fine.
sure. So we will move further. It's a good one. So now we were in which shloka? Sthita Prajna is done. Shall we go to 428?
428. Brahmatmano shodhitayorekhabhavavahini nirvikalpa cha chinmatra vritti prajneti kachyate sustita sa bhavedyasya sthita prajna sa uchyate. The kind of mental function which cognizes only the identity of the self and Brahman, purified of the self only with the pure intelligence, is called illumination. He who has this perfectly steady is called a man of steady illumination.
Okay. See, there are 6 things here. One is the Eka Bhava. Second one, or rather, one is Eka, second one is Bhava. So if you take both of them, it becomes Eka Bhava. Then the third one is Nirvikalpa. Then Chinmatra. It's a beautiful word. This is there in Tantra also. So it's from 2 words, Chin and Matra. Matra means measurement and Chin means knowledge. So what happens is, if we go by the tantric way, when we twist the Ida and Pingala and comes to the Trikuti, where the Kundalini meets in the center of the eyebrow, you get that pure knowledge, which is Chinmatra. So instead of doing that, Shankaracharya brings through the pure knowledge of self, that is Brahman. Then the Vritti is the modification. Sustita is steadiness. Sthita Prajna, we have already covered it yesterday. So in this shloka, a person of a steady wisdom, meaning in whichever situation he is put in, whatever it is, in whatever role he is playing, or he is taken the monastic role, which is again a role. So whatever role that person is in will have 6 attributes. Between Brahman and self, Brahmatmanaha Shodhitaha. So between Brahman and the self, a thorough differentiation or analysis is already taken care, in such a way that he sees non-division of everything. So it means he is playing the role of whatever it is, but yet he is undisturbed by what is happening outside. Because inside he is undivided, outside it seems to be divided. So he knows that when there is Jagat, it's always divided. It cannot be unified. When it is Jivi, it starts the unification, and when it is Ishvara, it is completely united, but to a level of Chaya, which is shadow. So he is able, or she is able, to see this differentiation and yet united. Okay, so in whatever role that can be given to that person, whether he is a family man or a recluse or a king or an administrator or a whoever it is, it doesn't matter. As far as he is a human being, and as far as he has understood that this is what is called a Jivan Mukta, he attends to things as though he is attending, but in reality he is not attending to anything, because there is no division. And even though there is differentiation, he can analyze that differentiation and still remain in oneness. So first one is Eka Bhava. So what happens in this Eka Bhava is that the Ahankara Vritti is not there. That means he doesn't get disturbed if somebody is doing something to him. So the analogy that can be given here is like earth. It doesn't care whether somebody is spitting on that, somebody is urinating, somebody is defacing it, somebody is cleaning it, somebody is doing something about it. It doesn't really matter to the earth. It just remains without disturbance. Some people will abuse the earth, some people will appreciate the earth, some people talk about conserving the property of the earth, some people talk about destructing the property of the earth. But as long as the earth remains, it doesn't really care what the other person is trying to do. So this is just an analogy. So if somebody is like that, because earth knows that everything is on it only. Every being is on it. Whether the being thinks that it is on it or not, or the being thinks that I'm part of earth or not, but earth knows that all the beings are part of itself. So it gets oneness. Second one is that there is always vikalpa. So when we say family life, recluse, and this and that, and so many things, it's a vikalpa. Vikalpa brings in duality. So there is me and other. So now that has to go. And when the ego is shunted, what happens is the nirvikalpa happens instead of vikalpa. So this is where the knowledge starts to come, that oneness is what it's all about rather than division. So we come into nirvikalpa. Then comes chinmatra. So a little essence of knowledge which tells what is there and what is not there. It gives two dimensions. Whenever there is something, that person comes into Jagat. And when he comes to Jagat, he knows that he has come to Jagat filled with duality. And after the transaction is over, he goes back into Ishvara. Then again, oneness is retained. So the knower and the object to be known and the means of knowing it all are seen to be different in the world, which is Jagat. Whereas in this person, there is only integration, not differentiation. And then that sage has the ability to see and integrate all sect, all religion, all people, all caste, all creed, all tradition, and all ways of living as a brahmachari or as a grihastha or as a sannyasa or as a vanaprastha or whatever that can be colored as. It doesn't matter to that individual because he has attained chinmatra. Then the vritti. Vritti is the movement of mind from one to another. So it takes one subject and one object, it keeps on jumping between subject and object. And the typical example given is like a monkey jumping around branches, which we have heard in Vedanta. And we can take that as the most simplest and the easiest example to see that how mind moves from one object to another. In this case, vrittihi prajna iti kathayati. Now, in this state of mind, the knowledge is only, so see, the movement is only towards Brahman and nowhere else. So the mind is moving in Brahman, not towards the Jagat. So the state of mind, it has only the prajna, and the object is Brahman. So there is object, subject, object also still there. But it's not about Jagat. It's not even about the Jivi. It is about Brahman. Thus, a single thought has Brahmavritti. Every single thought. That means when we say thought, the chitta, what is lighting on the buddhi, has only Brahman as its object. So there is no ahankara and the manas is only presenting or projecting that knowledge or that prajna, and sustita, steadiness happens. So that sage is in equilibrium in all the conditions. So what are the conditions? The condition can be that he is a grihastha, is having, let us say, brahmacharya, or he is having sannyasa, or he is having vanaprastha. The four ways of living as per Hindus. Or if you don't put that, he can be in any profession, any designation, anywhere, anything he's doing. He is sustita, steadfast in whatever it is. That condition doesn't bind him at all. He's doing it. Others might get confused that he has lost his way, or he is pretending to be doing whatever he is doing. Or they might even say that this guy is not a Jivan Mukta. But as far as that person goes, he is fully established. So he is in equilibrium. He doesn't go to two extremes, that is, to possess something or to reject something. He doesn't do both of them. Possession is as bad as rejection. So he doesn't do. He stays to the center. So when he is in the center, Srishti, Sthiti, Laya. So when you are in the center is where the Sthita Prajna is. Now he has attained Sthiti and the Prajna established then and there. Otherwise there is the Srishti, and if anything is born, Laya has to happen. Just like the morning comes and then there is evening. You cannot do anything about I don't like evening, or I cannot say that, okay, I don't like morning. It is going to be there. But in Sthiti, this doesn't happen. So this sage knows he is a sage. No matter whether somebody agrees that he is a sage or he is not a sage, or he is, he is in the world or not in the world, or he should be doing this or he should be doing that. That is duality. So this duality is going to exist. That he knows. Because as long as Vikalpa exists, and world is Vikalpa, Loka is all Vikalpa only. So he knows that that cannot be changed. He can only change his way of looking at the world, but that doesn't mean that the world is going to change for him. So he stops changing the world and he starts looking at how to deal with the daily things which he has to be doing. Dinacharya, whatever it can be, in whatever role and whatever designation, whatever title and whatever he has taken. It doesn't matter what he has taken. But these are the 6 things that shows that the man is indeed a sage, which are Ekabhava, Nirvikalpa, Chinmatra, Vritti, Sustita, and Sthita Prajna. Anything to discuss on this? All clear? Shall we move to the next one then?
So Brahma and Atma. So we have to understand both in depth, and then we should think that it is one, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So that kind of chitta vritti is called prajna.
Yes, that kind of chitta vritti is called prajna.
So when prajna is stable, that person is called sthita prajna.
Yes, correct.
See, in our normal interaction life, when we are not doing in the sthita prajna lakshana, that means we are just coming out of that, and we are giving priority that this world is like a reality, and we deal.
Correct, absolutely.
So we have to deal with the world with a clear understanding that this is not the reality. Reality is only me, Brahman.
Correct. So we can be dealing
Then it is called sthita. That means in all our actions,
yes,
that the sthita is very, very important. That means I am aware of what I am doing. I am aware of what I am watching.
yes,
Watching is also something doing.
yes,
So
absolutely.
that awareness, always sitting along with the awareness is nothing but the feeling of this Brahman, this reality, right?
Yes, absolutely. So you can do,
And
yeah,
that means
go ahead.
for a common man, for people like us, a common man, many a times when if you want to watch our thought, you can watch. It is
Yes,
possible.
yes,
But
possible.
it is a time is very, very short. That's a difference. Because immediately there's no time, I can say within 10 seconds that distraction happens.
Yes.
But for Sita Prajna, so this will be there for a long time, length of time. It can be 15 minutes, 1 hour, anything.
No, he will be always in that, irrespective of what he's doing. It's not 10 minutes, half an hour, or something like that. He's always in that, including sleep. So he becomes
1 minute. You have control only during your Jagrata Avastha to control this. The moment you go to Swapna Avastha, again, no control for that person.
No, in this, once you reach this state, when your breath becomes equal, which is what the Sushumna Nadi is all about, what happens here is that he becomes Trikala Gnani. What is this Trikala? In the night, there are 3 kalas. The first kala, and second, and the third kala. In the first kala, he practices dhyana. In the second kala, there is a conscious, unconscious experience. What it means is that there are 4 levels of consciousness. One is the supreme consciousness. Second one is unconsciousness. Third one is subconsciousness. And fourth one is consciousness. Presently, like a tip of the iceberg, we are conscious of whatever names and whatever we have understood so far in our lives. So we have been named something, we have designated something, and we are working on something, and that is what conscious is all about. So the mind is conscious of what it is called as. Then comes subconscious. Sometimes there are spurt of jealousy and spurt of happiness, spurt of anger, spurt of gladness, spurt of so many things, which shows that the person is so different when put in a situation. So that is subconscious. Then there is unconscious. We don't even know that there is a state called as pure consciousness. So we don't know that. That means that will throw up all the past lives. And hence we don't have that conscious, unconscious experience. That means to consciously experience what is there in unconscious. Then we have supreme consciousness. The mind depicts complete supreme consciousness, which means it is clear of all the conditions which is there in the unconscious and subconscious and conscious. So it is complete. It is having complete knowledge. Now, in this case, the Sthita Prajna has supreme consciousness, undivided consciousness. So he exactly knows what to do. Okay. So when that person is in that, the world doesn't exist. He exists, but the world doesn't exist. So you got that point, but
in the next
what?
No, you just said the last sentence.
No. Did it answer your question, or is there? See, these 4 levels of consciousness are there, but
that I understood. The conscious.
so then the vritti, the vritti, what happens here is the vritti is not towards the basic consciousness like what we have. The vritti is towards the supreme consciousness. So he stays in that. So in that case, he can be involved with anything, but he knows that he doesn't exist. So he'll just do actions. Every action is just an action. There is no karma associated with that action. Because there is no vikalpa. Yeah, Lata.
So, I think Bhatt's question was, you will be in that super consciousness when we are only in the waking state, right? So, but actually, when you are in that state, you would be aware of your dreams, and you'll be also aware of your deep sleep.
Yes.
Right.
So now he's in Turiya. See, he has crossed all the three, right?
Correct. So then you will be able to, and all these three appears in that. So you will be conscious of your waking state, you will be conscious of your dream state, and also you will be conscious of the deep sleep state.
Correct. And at present, when we go to deep sleep, we are unconscious.
Right.
In his case, there is no unconsciousness, is what I said.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's always conscious. Yes.
In deep sleep stage also he is conscious. That means.
Yes.
That means he is a sthita prajna.
Yes. Absolutely right.
Okay. So it is going layer by layer. Now I am a Jagrata Avastha, I can do that. But a Swapna, after next stage, right? After that only deep sleep.
Correct. In the Swapna, see, in this case, there is no Swapna because there is no Vikalpa. So absolutely there is no Swapna. In
Yes. Okay. There won't be any dreams, yes.
There won't be any dreams. There is Vikalpa causes dreams, but when you don't have Kalpana, there is nothing to dream, right? See, when I sleep, I am getting dreams means what? There is a lot of Kalpana.
Yeah, this Vilas, it is also, if I have no expectation from this world,
right,
then automatically you are in that stage. That can I say that?
Yes.
Because I have no expectations.
Yes, if you cut expectation, if you cut see, expectations comes from conditioning. If you cut the condition, the expectation goes away. When you don't have expectation, then you are in sthita prajna. That means you don't have dreams. See, but some days when you sleep, there are no dreams at all. If you really observe.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct.
Now, when you just hit the bed, either the body is so exhausted that it cannot create dreams, that is, mind cannot work. So there is no dream. So you just go slumber sleep for 6-7 hours, and when you wake up, you feel fresh. Whereas in a sthita prajna, he is having prajna in that unconscious state of mind. We are not conscious at this point in time. When you say deep sleep, if somebody were to be asked, what did you do in the deep sleep, the person cannot explain. He says that I slept very well. This is called avidya. You don't know what you did. Now you know what you are doing in that deep sleep.
And for a Jivan Mukta, he may not need sleep also, right? He's always sleeping.
Yes, that's the reason in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he talks about Jitendriya. So he says that when the world sleeps, he wakes up. And when he sleeps, the world wakes up. That's the analogy which is given. That means there is no need for him to go for a sleep. He just has to withdraw himself from the world and the sleep happens. So there is pralaya that happens. And he can come back to the world. It's possible. So when he comes back to the world, he pretends, or rather, pretension is not the right word. He acts as though he's a normal person. But there's a poles apart between him and a normal person. So he will still be feeding himself, he'll still be cleaning himself, he'll still be staying in his home or wherever he's staying. He'll still be talking to people, he'll still be doing everything as he was doing earlier, but unaffected by anything. That's the change. So he has understood the Jagrata Avastha is nothing but unconscious stage, and the Sushupti is the conscious state.
Sushupti is a constant. Okay. In Sushupti now you will have Jagrata.
Yes, in Sushupti you will have Jagrata instead of the current Jagrata what we have.
Yes.
We are associating with everything and making it as real.
So if you have in Sushupti Jagrata 24 hours, in that full 100% time is available for your spiritual work.
Yes, absolutely.
Are you doing some sadhana during that time, or you are just enjoying that state? What is happening?
That's sadhana.
If you are Sthita Prajna, there's something ka Bhasha and ka Lakshana. So what exactly happens to that person? Is he continuously doing some sadhana?
No, he is continuously living in the present moment. That's the best way to answer to that. Whatever comes.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
He is giving up everything. There is nothing for him. In this prapancha, there is no actions required from him. In this
no karma
stage.
required. No, wait. No karma required for him, but actions still he has to do.
Well, no, why actions are required? Why he has to do actions?
Now, what do you expect him to do then? See,
that's what
any
I'm telling.
action.
He's already there. Only body is there. Okay, when the prarabdha body will also go away.
Correct.
There is no other commitment here. Nothing.
Yeah, I will give you, today morning I was just, this Paramahamsa Yogananda, one small video was there about how his enlightenment happened. Okay, so he has his guru, Yukteswar Giri, and he was, at that point of time, he was staying in his ashram along with his guru. And in that ashram, there's a lot of tasks to do. You have to sweep the floors, you have to cook, you have to do this, you have to do that. And then Yogananda will say, I'm wasting my time in all this. I want to get enlightenment as soon as possible. So I don't think I will get it from here. I want to go to Himalayas. Okay, so then his guru will say, if you think an inert mountain will give you enlightenment, fine, you go. And then, but still, he argues with his guru and he will go. Okay, he will go, and after some few days, he will come back, defeated. And the guru will call him, and he will, he was surprised. Yogananda was surprised. The guru was not at all angry. Okay, so he said, come, we will go and eat something. That's what the first thing he says. And then Yogananda will say, I'm very sorry that I did it. I thought you would be angry. Then he said, why should I get angry with you? Because only if I am expecting something, then only the anger comes. I don't expect anything from anybody. So the anger doesn't come. Okay. So then he takes and all that, and one day, Yogananda was sitting and after some 1 or 2 days, Yogananda was sitting and meditating in his guru's room, and guru will call him from another place, some balcony. Mukunda was his name, so he called. So he acts as if he didn't listen. And again he calls. Then again he did not answer. And the third time he calls a little bit strongly. And then Yogananda will angrily will say, don't you know that I am meditating? And why are you calling me and disturbing me in the meditation? This guru will say, I know what you are meditating on. It is like the leaves in the wind you are meditating. You come. So he goes. He goes and then he just touches his heart. And then he explains his enlightenment experience, that suddenly he is aware of all the things, because he see with his physical eyes, he can see if somebody passes from his line of vision and to somewhere else, but he can still see in his the inner vision. So he could see all the planets, universes, this, that. So he has just spread across all the outside the body and across the complete universe. Okay. And then he will enjoy that for some time. He come back. Once he come back, and he was so disappointed that now all that experience is ended. And what the guru will say, come, we will sweep the balcony. Okay. And then then Yogananda says, what he says, what his guru is giving him a lesson is, fine, enlightenment is fine, but when you have a body, you have to do the work here. The actions are also important. Today morning only I was going through that. So be grounded. Be grounded in reality. You have to do all those work. of course, enlightenment is there, but then with this body, you have to do some actions.
So, but you can't escape actions. You can escape karma, but you cannot escape the action. Even if you are enlightened.
Whatever the situation, you have to respond, right?
Yes, you have to respond. So if I am in a family circle, I have
You
to
have
respond.
some food, somebody is asking for food, you have to give.
Yes, absolutely.
In Bhagavad Gita also it is there, right? So
Yes, it is there.
just even, I don't know which chapter, when you have a body, you cannot escape action. You have to do actions.
You are an embodied person. You cannot remove action. You can remove karma. That is correct. That's the whole idea, is to remove the
So
karma.
without expectations, you have to do actions now.
Yes, that's all what it is. Don't expect anything. That is what, no, karmanye va adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana.
Yes.
So don't expect anything. What people think, whether I'm an enlightened soul or I'm not an enlightened soul, or this or that, or whatever, whether I'm in a family life or in a recluse life or in this life, or I'm in a ashram. See, I'll give another example. Let's say I go and join.
See, I'm giving this example. I'm soldier now,
Yes.
fighting for India, to save India.
Right.
I'm spiritual. Similarly, there's one spiritual person, other side, Pakistani side. He's also fighting for his country. He's also
Correct.
100% spiritual.
Correct.
So fighting is their dharma, right? To save their people.
Yeah, absolutely. So he has to do the action.
So where is the Vishwa Prajna there? It is only your prajna of your country. That's it.
No. It's not like that. Like what Lata explained. It's a perfect example what Yukteswar Giri has.
No. That I fully understood. Doing this one,
You just put the same thing. No.
When you are in a condition where your boundaries, you have plenty of issues. And those issues, nothing but it's going to trouble you. That's what is happening.
No, there is
Now,
no trouble. For
Being a soldier, both sides, what should I do? Both of them are 100% spiritual people.
No.
What
Wait.
they should do? Do
No,
they need
wait.
to fight or they need to?
No, wait for a second. So now let us say both are spiritual. When we say spiritual, both are Jivan Mukta.
Yes.
Let's say.
Jivan Muktas.
Then there is nobody dying and nobody being born. So the body goes away. That's all. See, he is eating to the body.
They should fight, right?
Yes, absolutely. That's an action. That is an action.
I just wanted that.
Yes.
Yeah, because you are killing somebody, but you are killing without expecting anything in return.
No, you are not killing. See, in this Jivan Mukta stage, what happens is there is no expectation at all. There's nothing like a human being. You are just watching yourself on the other side.
Yes.
So who is getting killed by whom? This is what is explained in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita also.
No, from that angle, there is nobody is killed there.
Yes.
Only that's the transformation happens from one form to
As
another.
far
physical form.
as far as the other people go, other soldiers go, who are not Jivan Mukta, they will either celebrate or they will cry.
Yes.
But as far as those two soldiers goes, they have got Paramagati. Correct?
Correct.
Agree with me? It doesn't matter to
So
them.
death is nothing but Paramagati.
Paramagati. See, anyway, the body
Still
would...
if they are surviving, injured, even then, their body is going through that.
Yes. So now what happens here is, we are scared because of the body. Correct? Now in a Jivan Mukta, there is no concept of the body at all. And there is no concept of the mind also, right? Mind will come into existence when there is ego. When there is no ego at all, there is nothing called as mind without ego, right? So now you have only chitta, you have buddhi, and you have manas. There is no ahankara, correct? Only ahankara makes you to see separation, division. See, Pakistani should happen or Indian should happen with ahankara only. Otherwise, there is no way you can identify as a Pakistani or an Indian, correct? So when the buddhi is distorted, then only you can see him as Pakistani. Even though he is a human being, you call him a Pakistani or a Chinese or some other country, right? When your mind, when your buddhi is purified, where it doesn't have any kleshas, where is Pakistani or where is Indian or where is who? There's nobody there. but still he has to do his action.
Yes.
Just because he is an enlightened being, Jivan Mukta, doesn't mean that he can sit there and say that how can I kill this soldier. He has to shoot. In that process, whether he will die or the other person will die. Correct? As far as the world goes, as far as Jagat goes, either that Pakistani will die or this Indian will die. If Indian dies, Pakistanis will celebrate. If the Pakistani dies, Indian will celebrate. But as a Jivan Mukta, neither he celebrates nor he cries. Because he knows that there was no Pakistani or an Indian in the first place. It is just the 5 elements which is falling down. That Atma, which was there inside, is liberated. Was liberated while living, is also liberated while living. So what is there to say that should he fight, shouldn't he fight? For language, for the customs, for the tradition, for whatever we have, you can use the word, oh, he's fighting against this, he's doing that, is whatever. That is Jagat, duality. Now we have gone beyond Ishvara. It doesn't exist. So he still has to do, just like what Lata was informing, that you have to clean the balcony whether you are enlightened or not. He has to still go and fight the war. He cannot do that. Same thing, we are in the office, you have to do. Even if you're Jivan Mukta, you have to do whatever you're supposed to do. Action. Only action. Not karma. Only action. So do whatever action required, no?
So is there any occupation or job which a Jivan Mukta cannot do? For example, a lawyer.
Yes.
Okay, a lawyer means always he has to say some lies or the other. So it's a conflict, right?
Yes. What it generally says.
Actually, the butcher also can do that one. I think that's a good example, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was following his dharma, still he was killing animal and all that. But the Jivan Mukta, from that point of view.
No,
I think that's one very, very good example of that.
Yes. So generally, again, I use the word generally. Generally, a person of prajna will not do something which is going to harm or which is going to do something to someone unless it is such a necessity that that work has to be done. That means somebody will not take a profession which will always lead into lying and still claim that he is a Jivan Mukta. So it is up to that being, up to that person to use the prajna and decide what professions suitable for his time pass. It's actually time pass. There's nothing like he's doing anything. He's just passing his time in the samsara because then he cannot kill himself. Otherwise, he can take a gun and shoot himself down and then end the journey. He doesn't have to wait, but he has to complete the prarabdha. So for that reason, he cannot do it. So he has to find a profession which is suitable so that he can earn his living for food and shelter and clothing and medicine. Even if he were to go into ashram, some ashram, and he joins there, he has to do all the daily chores, what is required for his food. And he might have to disagree or agree with the guru or whoever he is having there. He might be enlightened, but the guru might not be enlightened. So he'll have to help him to get enlightened or whatever it is, or teach the shishya or whatever it is. So he still has to do it. So there is no escaping for any person, even though he is a Jivan Mukta, as far as prarabdha goes. So he still have to do some or the other action. So then what happens is, like in the case of Buddha, so what he proposed when this problem came into existence is that he said the lay life is very complicated. Every step is a arrow. It is better you leave that and beg instead of doing any activity which will bring you to some kind of negativity, irrespective of whether you are a Jivan Mukta or not. So he made sure that all the princes and the kings and all these people gave up their kingdoms and all that, and they became a recluse. This is one way of doing. Okay, this is what Buddha did. And if you go by the Ramayana or Mahabharata or any of the Hindu scriptures, they talk about doing exactly whatever you are doing and still remain a Jivan Mukta. So it depends on the person. If the person were to choose after enlightenment, he can choose, wow, now I am totally enlightened. Is this profession required for me? And he can take whatever action. It's just an action, right? It's there's no karma any longer. It's only the action. So it doesn't matter what other people think about it. It's just an action.
Doing action, it is harmless.
It's harmless. So he will choose something which is harmless. So Buddha gives an analogy. It's like having somebody asking him to give the, what we can say, lashes to the back 300 times by being in family life. Okay, once in the morning, once in the afternoon, once in the evening. That is what family life is all about. So he says that if you are a Jivan Mukta, managing this is very difficult because somebody or the other is going to throw stones at you. So it is better you turn yourself a recluse. This is what even Shankara says. That
correct. If you accumulate wealth, there will be a lot of people to take away. If you don't have any wealth, you are Jivan Mukta. There is no samsara, nothing.
Yes. So Shankara says that there is no point in wasting time in the grihastha and still working out on the what we can say Jivan Mukta. It is better you give up, throw it out. No matter.
Vilas, it is 9:34.
Oh my goodness!
I have to join another meeting.
Yes, I didn't even look at it.
So tomorrow I am not able to attend. I will not be at home. That's the reason.
Okay. So what do you?
You continue. Monday I'll be there.
No, then we will also meet up on Monday because four of us have decided that Vivekachudamani is dedicated to you. Unless other three wants to meet tomorrow. I am okay to meet tomorrow also.
Discussions are going well. This is really like daily dhyana. But during this time tomorrow, I will not have access to mails.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah.
Lata, should we meet tomorrow?
Okay then.
Okay, bye.
I am okay to meet.
Okay.
What about Padmasri and Sriyari?
I'm okay to meet tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm okay either way.
Okay, then we'll meet tomorrow at 8:30 and we will continue the topic. Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Good day
Bye.
to
Thank you.
everyone. Bye. Bye.